I want to pop out the chat. What's up, everybody? I don't know who's here.
No one's here yet. I'm looking at the YouTube right now, and it says waiting for Cooper's vaping view.
Oh, does it? I hit the go live.
There we are.
All right.
It's going live now.
That's right.
Yep. Let me mute this. Of course, I know there's like a 30-second delay or whatever it is, so that's probably what was going on.
Hey there, Mike. Yeah. Oh, I'm live. All right. So
we're live
I'm
now.
actually running this on my computer, so if shit blows up and goes sideways, blame me.
So, Mike, if you'd like to join, we can get you the link. I was trying to get Gus Borden to come on, but I think he is still asleep.
All right. Did the video catch up, Billy? My son said the audio loaded, but not video.
Let me see. The audio or the video looks like it is. Yeah, that's good.
All right.
I am so pixelated, though.
Yeah, I saw that.
Let me check. I probably have my streaming. No, it's 720. I don't know. On YouTube, it says me like it's all crystal and Streamlabs, but
yeah, you're pixelated. I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah.
It's got to be a lag. There's Mike. What's up, Mr. Mike?
Just at the end of my dinner.
There we go. I like that setup a little bit better.
Mac and cheese and kielbasa.
Oh, God. That's going to make for some horrible farts later.
Oh, no, it's good.
heartburn.
Move, dog.
I was going to say, because I one time, I know there's an old comedian who made this joke, but I one time diced up fried Spam and mixed it into macaroni and cheese. And I tell you what, that will make a taco fart seem like a warm tropical breeze, man. That
It's a little stretch, Billy, but
I won't eat Spam. I won't eat Spam by itself, let alone in anything.
I love Spam, man.
fried Spam and eggs. Yeah, I'm down with that.
Yeah. Dude, I'll sit there and I'll fry Spam. I'll thin cut it so it's nice and crispy. And I'll put it on bread and then put some spicy mustard over that. Hell yeah, I'll eat that all day.
I saw a post that said the company who owns Spam donated millions of cans. They made their first batch in 1920 or 30 or something like that. After the coronavirus, they'll start their second batch.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Ooh, Spam hash with over easy eggs and some hot. Dude, Jason, you're talking my language now.
So I don't know who else is live. I mean, we know a lot of people have been going live daily throughout all this. So I know there's a couple other channels that are live. But
Yeah.
if you're here, thanks for showing up.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah, I noticed that you and Eric, you guys went on for quite some time.
Yeah.
I think you guys were on for about. Was it only 4 hours? I thought it was a bit longer than that.
No, it was 4 a.m. When we closed out the live chat, it said it had been live for 6 hours and 57 minutes.
Hey, Jason. Hey, Chris.
So, yeah, no, we hung out for quite a while.
Hello, Mr. Mark. Oh,
So I finally got some traction on unemployment, and I just noticed that they're finally paying me on that, and then I also got notice that this stimulus is coming through too.
yeah. I you know what? I swear to God, I'm holding my phone right now, checking my bank account because my wife just said 2 people at her job already got theirs.
My daughter and my wife's aunt already got theirs.
And I think mine's
have
supposed
not
to
got
come
ours.
tomorrow.
We have not gotten ours yet.
I don't know. I got my
It
income return back.
It took well over a month for me to get unemployment, and I filed a couple of days before everything happened. I got laid off 2 days before they shut everything down.
Yeah, I haven't even started filing
I
yet.
checked my bank account. I'm still broke. That vampire killed me. That hurt. But I had to get one. I had to get the V2 because I talked to Michael Cowan. He said, don't get I forgot what it's, the EPO or something like that. The EPOs. He said, don't get that one. He said, get the Vampire V2.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently Surge is taking care of it. It's going to go through Bill Hastings. I should get mine in a couple days. But apparently I'm getting the whole package. So
Joel, the limo, you should just be able to use like the should be able to use the round or squared X-Tar bottles, the 8.5 mil capacity ones. Those should fit fine in the limos.
yeah.
I'm not too depressed on how fast that trucker went.
Yeah.
Took one day. The guy came and picked it up today.
Watch this. Hey, Mark.
Yeah, Bill, do you remember if the limo, if it doesn't matter if it's an X-Tar because a stem bottle system, the X-Tar bottles work with because they have that little gasket inside.
Depends on the cap. It depends on the cap.
Yes, it depends on the cap. I was just going to say that.
Oh, any of the newer ones.
The older ones have a wider cap.
Yeah, if you've got any bottles like within the last, I'd say 6 months from X-Tar, those should work.
I'll look if he runs into trouble. Let me know. Hold on a second.
Yeah, because I don't know if the limo used the stem system or if they still just used just a regular bottle and tube. Yeah, I heard about that, Chris. I know you've been going through a lot, and you just got cleared to go back to work and then get laid off. It's a bunch of shit. I'm sorry about that, man.
So who was it? Joel, if you run into trouble, I just happen to have a couple extra bottles laying around.
Just a couple.
Yeah. So if you need anything, give me a shout. I got X-Stars in here. I got Piezos, the ones.
The Dinkies work as well. He says he's got a mod maker Dinky. Those work as well.
Oh yeah, Dinkies work great. Yeah.
I'm just not a big fan myself of mod maker bottles.
Yeah. You giving me a helicopter in chat? What the fuck's up with that? Because you're mad about that. Chris, you were told there'd be boobs, and Mike's the only one who's above an A cup, so it would have to be Mike.
Yeah.
There, you got it.
Who told you that? Jeez.
I know, people letting our secrets out.
All right, so why don't we do the round robin for got some people in here now? But since you're hosting this thing, I'll let you take the reins. Try not to run off too much.
I'm running my dagger with the Narca on top with the black Never Normal cap, all matchy and pretty. I got my RMG Odd, which is a little MOSFET with the dwarf on there, and my, of course, always Rocket with the GT4. And I'm rocking my own juice in every one of them. RY, nice. Blackberry lemonade, and triple C's. What are you vaping on there, Robert? I know you're vaping on that damn stash box.
Yeah, well, so I got the TAC 21 and the Doom mesh Addy. I always rock a mesh RTA. Usually, and usually I got one of those in the mix like at all times, and then finally opened up the stash box and bridged.
That is a nice setup.
And yeah, the hype is real. I was hoping that there's really only one thing I could nitpick on it, and it's just like the screen placement. I tried adjusting it. It's just a little off kilter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it. It's not like it is obstructing any view, but it is just a bit off.
You know what? I'm impressed with the stash box for one thing, and that is usually you'll see a lot of BMM products that people will buy on the list, and like 3 days later they're flipping it. That's the only thing I haven't seen. Nobody's flipping it. Everybody's holding on to them.
I've only seen one of them sell.
Really?
Or one of them went up for one of the collab boxes went up for a waffle.
And it's still really new. Excuse me, new.
Yeah. So somebody's sitting there cursing about it. And
oh, hey, Chris Soccer. But yeah, I swear, if they would have made it as tall as a billet box, they could have gone 21,700 with it.
I think that would have been a better idea, but that's just my opinion. I know Mike agrees with putting a 21,700 because he wants a 21,700 in almost everything.
That's me.
Hey, I do have 18650s.
You do.
The new Rewind. And I'm actually in love with that mod.
No, I know you are. I like the
It's a nice size.
For the hand feel. Sometimes it's easier if you can get a better grip on the mod. You know, some mods are a little too big and bulky. Like, I think that was my problem with the billet boxes. I didn't like holding it like an ice cream sandwich the whole time I was using it, you know, and I like something I can put my hand around and hold on to.
Give me 1 second. I got to let this dog out. I'll be right back.
No.
Well, if anybody else would like to join or contribute or share or whatever, just shoot Bill. You can shoot Bill or myself a message, and we can get you the link to join up.
Yeah, definitely. We can get a whole group in here. I'm cool with that.
I'm a little fat. Sorry. You can only have up to 6 in stream though. So.
Yeah. Well, there ain't that many here, so. Oh, somebody messed.
Yeah, 75C is it really depends on your build. So I mean, most builds I do in a billet box are 0.5 to maybe even up to an ohm. You know, this is a 0.68 ohm build at 25 watts. And so, yeah, it's with the juice capacity and that low wattage, it'll last me a whole day.
Now, when it comes to the 18650s, I'm reading what Joel had wrote. I change my battery more frequent than I do with my 21700, but it's still once a day. It just becomes earlier and earlier and earlier in the day.
Yeah.
If I was gonna,
hey Carlos,
pop a fresh one in the morning, I could probably go majority of the day.
Easy.
I only vape at 46 watts on a 0.7 coil, so.
Oh, you like that high voltage vaping, huh?
Yes. I like a nice hot vape.
Well, what I found was the coil I use in this is a triple core micro fuse Clapton Canthal. So it's actually got a decent amount of surface area on it. But I was able to, when I did the review for it, so do it wide open all the way down to as tight as it could be, and I didn't feel like I needed to have a different coil in there to meet any of how I would enjoy the draw.
Right.
So that was nice.
Yeah. I've always, I don't know, I would say for probably the last 2.5 years, I've been doing a dual 28 gauge with a 36 gauge wrap all Clapton or all Canthal. 6.5 wraps because you got to go half because of the way the posts are nowadays. But that seems to be my go-to and my favorite coil that I run and everything. I've got it in my Hadley. I've got it in my rewicked RTA, rewicked RDA.
I got a silly question. I know Robert pays attention. Did you see the teaser post for Mark Todd's new RTA?
With Van and Dell.
Yeah. It looks interesting. I'll give it that.
Yeah, and they didn't post it on April Fools, so
yeah. Because I know Mark Todd for the longest time had ideas, but he said he didn't want to do one.
Well, I think pretty sure he said that he has not collabed, but he's worked with, like, he's been behind a lot of mods, or a lot of addies. He's just never wanted to put his name on anything.
Yeah, exactly. I don't see why not, but I can understand that trepidation that if it's a bomb, it's going to be associated with his name.
Yeah.
But that's the risk you take. If you designed it, take credit for it. Don't that's stand behind your shit. And I understand what he's doing, but there's that part of me going, all right, he's a smart man for keeping his name out of it. But then there's the other part of me going, don't be a wimp about it. Just put your name on it. If it sucks, it sucks. Take the lumps like everybody else does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get to hear about a lot of this stuff, about all the new different stuff that people are making. I hear about it from you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gus Borden, he's got an RDA that's coming out soon, and I caught up with him on one of the BSE live streams with Matt Candon and got to speaking with him, and we're gonna try to have him be a guest tonight, but the time zones differences and things, it's going to be a little difficult to get him in.
Yeah.
Yeah, just with all the stuff that comes out, I'm too busy making new stuff, working in the workshop, working at the store. I do sit on Facebook, but generally when I'm on Facebook, I'm looking for more products for the stab woods and stuff.
Of course, you got a business to run. I don't expect you to be sitting there, lurking on all these groups. I mean, that's my job. I do that. half the time I miss shit because I'm like, I lurk in the same groups over and over again, and being honest, I'm always on Squonk Life's group checking what's going on to make sure, people are following rules and doing their thing, because that's
really bad at contributing posts in the groups I'm in and admin. I'm super lax on, like, I respond and reply and get on, but as far as like submitting my own posts and sharing pictures and stuff, I'm really bad about being active that way.
No, absolutely. I mean, I'll admit it. I was active this morning and last night because I finally got an ARCA. I fucking sound like Joe. Jesus Christ. But I finally got an ARCA, so I had to take a couple pictures of it, some pretty pictures, and show it off everywhere. And I mean, it turned out perfect on this the dagger. So
yeah, I need to append my review I did for the Strybog RDA, and if you had the opportunity to get, he just did a list, he just closed it, but if you get an opportunity to get that, it's so worth it.
Wait, and which RTA?
The Strybog.
Yeah, I saw a couple people going stupid over that in High-End Addy Trader.
It's top 3 for me.
Is it retail or DL?
Both.
Wow. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Yeah, you can.
I'll be honest. I really like the rewicked RTA, and that's probably one of the first RTAs that I've liked in a long time.
No, since the Hadley.
Well, and RTA wise, RTA.
Oh yeah, this is an RDA.
Oh, it's an RDA.
Yeah, the Strybog is an RDA.
Okay, I thought he said it was an RTA.
So it's got a couple different airflow insert options. But yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, because my main two right now, my main two go-tos are the Hadley and the Rewicked.
Yeah, just a second. Got kids.
It's always nice when they leave the whole room to you. Oh shit!
Sorry, doing a little combination here.
Nice.
Woo! Now I got coffee.
Gross.
And this thing is full.
This is my coffee.
I can't do that. That stuff will rot your guts.
No, actually, that is half the sugar, half the calories as like soda.
Yeah.
Half the sugar too.
No, I didn't have to wind up my internet. I had to
Bill's all hardwired now.
and get on the stationary bike and pedal my ass.
No, sorry. Back on the Stripe bike. Teddy's customer service is just ridiculous. He is such a good guy. Like because I got on the list before I got laid off, and I let him know about that, and he's like, I'll hold it aside for you. Just if you can pay or when you can pay, go ahead and take care of that. And I wanted to get the caps, or want to get at least a cap with it. So I like, if Black Ultim is available, I love that, or I'm a fan of Ultim. So I paid for the Addy, and I was like, I'll wait for your list for the caps drops. He went ahead and sent me a cap, ring, and tip with it too.
What?
And then unfortunately, I encountered a machining issue with the positive post, and I was like, hey, I don't want to put out my review until I've got a chance to show this to you and talk to you about it and everything. And they were all like, he couldn't go to the shop, couldn't take care of getting the part done and all that until recently. And he DHL'd me a freaking new pin, insulator, all that. Just that's
really nice of him.
Yeah.
Really?
But so he drops some new caps. I'm like, I'm still gonna have to hit you up some more caps. He's like, oh, you should have let me know. Like, because he would have known him. He probably would have just sent him along with the post he sent me. But it's just like, I appreciate your generosity and everything, but I don't want to take advantage of it.
Of course, but that's similar to like what when I talked to Serge about the Vampire V2. He told me, he goes, I will give you a discount on one condition. And I was like, what's that? He goes, you need to review it, and you need to message me before you review it. Because like I had told you before we went live, apparently Mark Todd did something wrong when he built it or when he was doing something. Mm-hmm. And Serge was none too happy about it because he said, not that he was mad, but he said, if you're going to review it, at least learn about the product.
Yeah.
Don't just grab it and start, finger fucking it, for lack of a better term. But wait a second. The list price, on Stratum. Are you talking about the Vampire V2?
Yeah, the Vampire.
Yeah, they had it listed for $199 US. It was basically, I think it was 175 euros. But
and if you use the code the VF, you get free priority shipping.
Yes.
On Stratum. That's what's nice about Stratum is you get stuff at RRP, and you don't have to pay the additional, in some cases, $50 shipping. Yeah.
Well, I had checked the post to buy it direct from Serge from Italy, and it would have been $30 shipping and 2 to 3 weeks.
What's the Vampire? I'm going to sound like a noob here. What's the Vampire?
It's an RDTA. But he said he had an admin in Indiana, and he's going to have him send me one. So it should be here in like 2 to 3 days.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, and I PayPal'd him right there on the spot. I was like, done. I said, I'll make sure I message you so I don't make a complete idiot of myself.
All right. I got a question.
Sure.
Is the Stratum site the new go-to for the high-end stuff?
For US, pretty much.
Because it used to be Vaping Art.
Yeah, Vaping Art is still they're still popular.
Vaping Art's still popular. My problem with Vaping Art is their website is okay, but at the shows, they got a hell of a markup on everything. They mark their armors up almost $150 a piece.
I think you were telling me that before.
I believe the Rat Black billet box, they were selling for $400. I'm like, and it's just a basic, brand new in box, no extras with it, $400. I was like, that ain't even a $300 mod. But at a show, people are stupid. They'll pay it. And as far as I always thought was, when you go to a convention, you're supposed to get things cheaper, not more expensive.
Yeah.
Hey there, Evan. So you just popped in the chat.
Yeah, I did the Vampire. If I picked one up, it would be only to review it. I wasn't it didn't particularly interest me. Last time I bought a product just for the intention of reviewing it, was that it's out of Japan. It was an MTL RDA. It had a very retro post. I mean, it was fantastically machined, probably the heaviest and thickest metal cap ever that I've had in RDA. It was good for what it was, but it just was not for me.
But it's that thick, it holds heat.
But that's why, like, on MTL, it's not too big of an issue. But fortunately, I got all my money back on that the moment I mentioned I had one available. I had someone like, "Hey, how much for it?" And they PayPal'd me instantly. There was no haggling. What's the lowest you can go? Anything like that. It was Vinegar Works. It was the Vinegar Works RDA.
That is a very rare occurrence. No haggling, no nothing.
But I have someone that wants to buy my 2 Billy clubs, and has been a lot of back and forth, because there's like because everybody's wanting stash boxes, and it's hard enough to get a new BMM mod to begin with, but considering how popular stash box is, that's primarily what all the lists have been. People have been getting, so, and less people are parting with the like their Billy clubs and tinies and
I was going to say the market kind of dropped on the Billy clubs real fast.
They're still fetching RRP.
I've seen a couple just below, but it's
just barely below, and that's what I.
But he's got the hype train starting to build steam again, because apparently in the next couple of months he's going to drop another a list of Billy clubs and stash boxes in color.
Yeah, he does that in July, and it's either November or December. That's only twice a year where he offers the color options, and he's got 2 more Mandalorian themed stash boxes. He gave the first one away, and I don't know if he's planning on doing giveaways for the other 2 or what's going on there. But they're like this cool. They're like bronze and green, and had kind of like the armor print on it. Pretty cool. And sorry, Mike, I'm talking BMM, and I see.
I was wondering when the commercial was
over. The BMM chat. So what's everybody in the chat vaping on? If my son's still in the chat, I'll guarantee he's vaping on probably, let me take a wild guess, a blue jade plug with the basic 2.0.
You don't need to ask me what I'm vaping on. You already know what I have in my hand.
Rewind.
Trucker?
I got a Widow, as always.
Oh, Widow. Oh, I thought you had the Rewind.
I do have a trucker in my hand. No, I'm keeping the Rewind clean so I can send it out to you.
Ah. Oh, he's running the cloak I gave him for his birthday. Nice. Or was that it? Or was that Christmas? I don't remember. Yeah, that cloak hits like a truck. That thing is so good.
Oh, I'm just catching up with the chat. Yeah, Joel. Yeah, the Strybog is not the pretty. It's looks are subjective, but yeah, it's
right.
different looking.
Unicorn mech with an Asgard 25. Damn. Suicide Hog with an Asgard 30. Jesus Christ.
The Asgard is such a good Addy.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good about it. I've never tried one. I always said I was going to grab one just for the hell of it, but I went a little retarded with spending money. I got my dagger. I got my Narca. I got the low or the odd. I'm still waiting. I mean, I wonder. I think Steve also wound up with the same company that did the odd. They have a side-by-side DNA 60 3D printed, and I think Steve kept that one. Yeah.
He posted up another picture he had of a side-by-side of I think it was a DNA 200
dual
that
big silver thing.
Dual 18650.
It's like, actually 3. It's a 3 battery mod, and there was only 10 of them ever made.
Oh,
they were made before the Relo. That's how old they are.
Yeah.
Is that resin one?
No, it's metal. It's aluminum, I think, or die cast.
I saw a resin one posted up. It looked like a dual side by side.
It's a triple, man.
Yeah. That's a beast. We were going back and forth because I wanted the ad, which is the DNA 60 from RMG. I love that thing. But the problem I had with them, usually the catch cups are not what they say they are. They'll say, oh, it's a 24. No, it's a 23 and a half, and that drives me crazy because I hate
catch cups. I hate catch cups. I want flush top.
Yeah.
That's of any critique I have on not to hop back on the
here's my thing.
BMM stuff is the cups.
If you want a catch cup, add a freaking beauty ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Like this one, this is the odd, and this is just a little button here. It's a MOSFET. That is a Dwarf DL with a 24 millimeter heat sink under it. And it says on his website, this is a 24 millimeter landing. I had to push so hard while I was screwing this fucking 24 millimeter heat sink in there. And I know the 24 millimeter heat sink is exactly 24 millimeters. So there's
the regulated one is the add. There's the odd and then the add.
Yeah, right? Odd, add, and there's another one, the low. LO.
Is that the 18350 side by side?
Mom is not taking your work.
Yep. I mean, I love this. It's a regular fucking MOSFET. There's nothing special about it. But it's in your hand. That's what I like about it. I have the Dwarf DL on it with the heat sink, which is almost 6 millimeters high, and I can still make this disappear in my hand.
Good looking setup.
And it's light. The
adding
in the battery is all the weight.
Bill, you probably won't be able to make the crown disappear.
That's okay, because if it comes out the way I want it to, I'm going to be showing it off. I ain't going to want to hide
crown?
it.
What?
The crown.
Yes. Mike is making a side-by-side.
Oh.
The 2100.
Are you going regulated or MOSFET?
DNA 60.
Nice.
I've seen the design. It's badass.
Man,
he's got.
I wish
no other side-by-side has.
I wish the Starplat, the maker of the Starplat, would respond. I wish you could get those chips in bulk. It's such a good, and it's a single button board, and the footprint's real small.
You know what? That was the problem I had when I reviewed the Sub Monkey. I did not like that single button die codes, especially on that touch sensor.
Starplat's better. It's a more refined. It performs on par with the die codes in my opinion, but their UI is a lot easier to navigate with single button.
Do it all from the fire button?
Yeah, it's a gyroscope, so it's tilt and single button.
That's not a bad idea.
That's what had my The Union 2.0. That's what's in that
Mike,
mod.
hint,
And that's a 21700 side by side.
Hint, Mike, for the Crown, the Star Plat is a smaller display than the DNA 60. It's a small.
How many watts does it go up to?
What?
75.
Where do I get them?
The website starplat.ru, I think, but I have yet to receive a reply. I'm in contact with the store, or a guy that runs the store that sells a lot of sells the Union mods and the Starplat base mods. I'll try hitting him up and seeing if he can source boards to buy.
Yeah, I was laughing because what's his name? Steve Turek in Squonktopus. Well, not Squonktopus anymore. He changed the name to Do You Even Partake, Bro?
Yeah.
Now,
oh my God. That group is a riot.
You know, and it's funny because, you know, and I'm not going to insult him. He's a good guy, but he was like, I'm going to try and make a little magic. I'm good at building websites. Well, no offense. Squonktopus wasn't that great in the first place. And then you changed it to a weed-only web group, so you just cut yourself off even more. So, but
he just has a different client base.
Yeah, he had a Union side by side that he got in a trade, and the guy who traded it to him didn't know what it was. And in the same token, Steve Turek didn't know what it was either, and he wound up selling it for like $125. I'm like,
that's not too much below RRP. They're $180.
Yeah, but I was like, you could have got a lot more because that thing was mint. It was beautiful.
You can. I'll have to get you the link if you contact the guy. He made it so that I could purchase just through PayPal, and ship from Russia. But yeah, I think it ended up being after shipping like 200 or 210. But they have a bunch of different finishes available and whatnot. He's got some new stuff coming. Yeah, I gotta hit him up and see about getting Starplat boards. Because it's a great board.
I mean, because right now I'm looking at going with a smaller form factor. I've got it designed to hold the 60. But if I can find something else regulated that's smaller, that gets the same kind of consistency and performance that you get out of a DNA, I would definitely go with it. Even to the point where we thought about dropping a lab vet in it from Mod Dog. But the problem with that is
labs.
Well, the people that want to go with MTLs, it's going to hinder them because you're still basically running a mechanical, so to speak.
Yeah.
You're not going to get the voltage that you're looking for. You're not going to get the kind of vape. That's why I want to go with something more regulated over a MOSFET setup. I want to more regulated so people can actually set the wattages where they're happy.
It's all about the customizability now. That's why, and it's not sounding silly, but Dicode's DNA, like Evan said, the Dicode's BF60 was a phenomenal chip. But the thing is mechs started making a resurgence. And then when the MTL thing started getting big again, then it was all of a sudden the die codes and everything started coming back out of the woodwork.
Yeah. Well, you'll find that it kind of coincides with when government starts over-regulating, unregulated mods make a resurgence. Tubes start coming back, boxes start coming back, unregulated vapes start making. It happened last time with the August 8 date. There was up to that date, mechs became really popular again, and it kind of comes in cycles. But I've noticed, oddly enough, if I'm trying to correlate events on why and when mech mods regain popularity, it's typically tends to be a lot of times when there's government regulation.
Well, about the government taking their right to vape away, and the great thing about a mech is you can work on it yourself.
Yeah,
they're very simple, and they work. And
as we were talking about the die codes, now I am working on a FL80 trucker right now. Okay, It's going to probably be a one-off. Here's my problem with die code. The only benefit that they have is that they have a really good temp control system, and they have the 12-volt cutoff. Okay, now that is a benefit for certain people, not the majority of people. And paying 3 times the cost versus a DNA board, to me, there's not enough gain for the reward.
And I've heard once solder has, or once those boards have been soldered, they won't warranty them anymore. It's like, how are you supposed to make a working mod without? I mean, there's ways to do it,
but yeah, it's going to be unreliable.
Yeah,
and I think that's intentional.
But the only thing I've had fail on a die codes board was me taking it apart and cracking a screen. But fortunately, you can replace the screens.
Yeah.
Which one? The 60?
Yeah.
Yeah, the FL80. It's board mounted.
I think it's like actually glued to the board.
I have one sitting at the shop right now because I had to design the trucker around it.
So what the difference between the BFs, besides the 12-volt cutoff, is that the FL80 you can do in series. It'll go up to 80 watts if you wire it in series.
Right, but when you run a mod in series, you should be getting a lot more than just 80 watts.
Yeah, well, considering you got 100-watt mods that are single 21700, it's like you got to go series to get 80 watts out of this thing.
Yeah. I mean, and like Mark pointed out, the great thing about die codes is you don't need your computer to mess with your settings.
No, but you practically need a degree and dexterity.
That's why when I did the review for the Sub Monkey and I was talking about the die codes, I even said flat out, I am not going over the operation of a die codes because I'll be here all fucking day. There's no way.
And pretty much nowadays with the DNA colors, you can do everything that you want to do except for change a theme. You can do right on the DNA boards now.
Yeah.
It's easier on the computer, but
the funny part is I have friends who use DNAs and they say to me, I just hate that it goes up in 0.1 increments. And I'm like, listen,
you can change it.
Fuck what increments it goes up. Once you get it set to where you like it, it's not like you're adjusting it anyway.
Well, you can open it up and eScribe a 5-minute download and change it to half and 0.1 or 0.5s or just standard increments. You can change it.
I agree. But
evolve.
But my point is, all right, so hypothetically, if I'm running this mod right here and I set it at 60 watts and I like it at 60 watts, I'm not going to sit there and fiddle fuck with it. I'm just going to leave it at 60 watts because that's where I like it. So who cares how it's adjusted? And who cares if it takes you an extra 5 seconds to adjust it?
You won't see it. You can't really see it. This mod has been at 46 watts since the day of its inception.
Yeah, and you don't have to adjust it. But even if you did adjust it, even if it went in 0.1 increments, what's it take you, 5 seconds to adjust it?
Well, yeah, obviously, but
with navigating die codes, if you miss your timing and you got to go through the whole thing all over again, yeah.
See,
yes,
the reward is not worth the price.
And
that's why I've never went with die code setups. Now, I'm also not a Yeehee fan either.
No.
Yeehee makes a great fucking chip, great mods. I'm just not a fan of their system.
I don't hate building around their mods. More so than that, I've never had a single Yeehee board that didn't have parasitic draw.
Really?
Yep. And the voltage sag, the voltage drop you get, like you'll notice on a Yeehee board, you look at the battery meter when you fire and just sags completely. And I mean, maybe it's just because they're more accurate and you're seeing that, whereas it's hidden on a DNA. But I don't get the same battery life out of a Yeehee as I've ever got on the DNA board.
DNA boards, hands down, all the way around, my favorite chip. It's going to be the chip I always use. It's my go-to. And like the comment you made about the warranty with the die code. Okay, you can send into my store, send me a Lost Vape drone. and say the board's burnt on it. I'll say, okay, I'll take 20 minutes. I'll pop the board out. I'll contact Evolve, say, hey, I need to warranty this board out. I'll send it to them. They'll send me a brand spanking new board. They don't fix the board. They send you a brand new one. Drop it in, solder it up.
When it comes to the Lost Vape, actually, Evolve is like one of the authorized repair centers. So like, I think it's only in Lost Vape products is you can actually send them the mod.
Yeah. Well,
I agree.
Usually,
I agree with Nick Pinkerton. In a way, real men use mechs. Learn how to fucking build, and you don't have to worry about adjusting your wattage.
see, now I have to disagree with that.
I like having a consistent vape throughout the life of a battery.
Exactly.
And just fucking overpowers it.
Hey, real men vape real good for about the first 20 minutes. And then their battery starts dying, and then now they're not hitting as hard as they were when they first started.
I've been vaping on this all day. All day.
Yeah, I've been vaping on this all 6 months. The wattage never drops. Even when I've got 10% battery life, I'm still getting a fairly good solid hit.
No, I agree. I've been vaping on this all day. In there. I'm running good. I only have a 0.35 ohm build in here. So I'm not running real fucking hard on it. I like my 0.35. Mark knows this. We've talked about it. You know, if I do have to use something regulated, I lean towards the DNA 60 because it's accurate and it
0.3 is about only ever as high as I'd ever want to do on a Mac.
Exactly.
I prefer 1.1 to 0.2 on a Mac.
I have 2 Macs. Oh, I guess if you call the Peacemaker a Mac, it's a MOSFET. But I have that one. I have my Skyline M6, which is real old school. And then I have I have one of those click fets from Cthulhu.
Oh, okay.
I actually like it. I run the Profile Unity.
I prefer the new.
Oh, you run? I've never used mesh on a Mac.
I use the Profile Unity on the Cthulhu mod, and it actually has a great hard hitting vape. I only use 20S's, so it vapes really nice. If I'm gonna vape a little tube mod, it's a mod I'll throw in my pocket just in case. You know, I don't want to carry my Widowmaker around or something. I can just pop that out of my pocket. But when it comes to tubes, you know, if you got a 20S sitting in like my Skyline, it'll vape real good for about the first 30 minutes. And then because I'm so used to consistency from the DNA boards, I can actually feel where it starts dropping and getting less and less and less and less. And to me, that takes away the enjoyment of the vape in the whole first place. Now, the people, I'm not knocking anybody that likes their mechs. Hey, if you want to carry 20 batteries and keep changing them every couple hours, so be it. That's your choice. It's just not mine. I want consistency because at the time,
as a mod maker,
go, oh shit, I'm going good, and I didn't even notice it.
As a mod maker and designer, the profits lie in mechs.
Of course, absolutely.
Well, it definitely does because we spend so much more on making the DNA mods because we bought to buy the boards and everything. So that eats up a lot of our profit margin as to where they're selling theirs for a remotely close price and they're not paying for a board. I get that. So in a business selling aspect, mechs make sense. But customer enjoyability for I would have to say 75% of vapors, a DNA regulated board is going to be better than a Mac.
Yeah, because what was it? The difference between when you're smoking a cigarette it gets hotter, as as it's burning down closer to your lips, and where with vaping, the longer you vape it, as your wattage is dying down, it's getting colder and colder, and not an ideal situation.
Yeah, Pinkerton says that. Wait a second. Okay. Yeah. Now, do you charge? But you charge more for. You charge a lot more for a for regulated, Nick, correct? Or do you just throttle down your profit when you make a mech? I'm just asking. I don't know.
Here's the thing. Okay, most mechs sell generally, a mechanical mod will sell generally between 150 and 350 bucks, depending on who makes it. That's the average price. Okay. Now, you guys know my price scale. My prices range anywhere from 200 to 350 with my DNA regulated. So for me to make the profit margin that some of these guys are making on their mechanicals, I have to sell a lot more regulated. That's all in how you price. I don't rape. Rape's a bad word to use. It's not the right choice. I don't overprice my regulated mods. I price that guy that has been rocking a smock for the last year and a half wants to splurge a little bit and buy something a little bit nicer. He can still afford it. Mm-hmm. He don't got to be rolling around in a Porsche to be able to afford one of my mods.
Shit, most of the people who buy those expensive mods can't afford a Porsche because they spend all their money on.
Nick, when you factor in the amount of time it takes you to model and assemble, and just like and the print cost for mechanical, like you got to, like, when it comes to your time and the cost for your time, that's got to factor in a bit to the profit margin.
That and warranties. That's warranties are what kill me. At the end of the day, if there's a warranty that's needed, generally I try to build mods that don't need to be warranted. Boards do go bad, shit happens. Screens burn out on them, shit happens. And I don't really lose in that aspect. Now, where I start losing profit is when you take somebody's mod and rebuild it from the ground up, scratch. That's where you start losing your profit margin. But at the end of the day, to me, that's good business. And I'd rather eat that cost and lose the profit.
I totally get that. It's a tough one. And I agree. I mean, I understand. And it's tough because for me, I'm not a modder. So I'm listening to you who makes mods, and I see Nick in the chat who makes mods as well. So right. it's for me, I'm one of those, I go with my wallet. If I can afford, one of your mods, I'll buy one of your mods. If I can't afford one of your mods and I have a couple dollars and I'm like itching to buy a mod, I'll buy a mech. It all depends. But if you look at like some of the mechanicals, like some of the purges, their basic tubes sell for $200-300 for a basic tube.
No, so Bill, my wholesale price on some of those are $295.
Yeah, they're ridiculous. So I mean, but it all depends on what you're building. If you're doing like a 3D printed mechanical mod, like something like this, even though this is a MOSFET, but if you're doing like a 3D printed, what is this? Fucking $20 worth of parts?
No.
I mean, this thing right here, I'd say tops $20 to $30 worth of parts. It's nylon or polyamide and a MOSFET and a deck and contacts, and the contacts are copper.
Okay, so he
charges $180 for it. So there is profit there. I mean,
okay, so take for example that one. He's paying 12 to 15, roughly about 12.
Oh, sorry. Get an interruption.
$12 to $15 for the 510.
Okay.
The polyamide print, polyamide is not cheap. Okay, so he's probably spending, I would have to say, between $30 and $45 on the print. I'm going to tell you that now in polyamide. I bought a print for my one of my 3D printers, and I had it all done in polyamide, and it cost me $80. Now it was a bit bigger than that and a little bit more surface area than that. So Now, does that got a battery tube in it?
No. It's a here, watch.
Okay. So
Yeah.
he's $35 to $45 on the body, $10 to $15 on the 510. Okay, then you factor in $3 or $4 for the wiring. The MOSFET is going to cost him if it's a mod maker, it's going to be about $10 after shipping.
Yeah, I thought Illumite and PA12 were about the same price in print.
Well, I thought you said polymide.
Polymide.
Yeah, not Illuminide.
Oh, okay.
Illuminide, and normally Illuminide is actually more expensive. Illuminide is a bit more expensive than PA12. Now there's also HP PA12, which is Hewlett Packard's PA12. They're multi-jet fusion. MJF, multi-jet fusion.
So wait a second. I got a question for Nick Pinkerton. He said $35 in mats. What does that mean? Is
materials?
That what?
Materials.
Oh, material. All right. I'm sorry. I'm over. But
and no, Nick, I'm basing this on a general basic. If I'm not even saying go to Shapeways, because Shapeways will bend you over.
No, yeah, iMaterials is a little bit better than Shapeways on pricing, but
yeah, because
on the average
for the RDAI design, what was that? Where were we going for the? We still have to do the nylon print on that.
Yeah, just for measurements and specs and stuff like that.
So we're just doing one.
That's probably going to cost us $15-$20.
Okay.
That's not that expensive.
Yeah. So the only point I'm making is, as far as like profit margin, like Nick said, $35 in materials. And he sets the printer, forgets it, walks away from it, lets it print it. And he charges $185 for these. So, I mean, regardless of...
You got to take into time, that one's laser etched and dyed.
Okay, so I'm going to step...
You got to make sure your time is worth something.
Okay.
No, I agree. But I'm saying, that's what I'm saying is there is a profit regardless of whether you do a mech or a MOSFET or a DNA. If you're modding, if you're making mods, there is profit there to be made.
Here's a pro comparison, Bill. Okay. Right now I have a Mod Maker 510 in here. Okay. I have a DNA. I have the body that I printed, the trucker body. Cost me $18 to $24 depending. Okay. The battery tube cost me $19 to have after shipping because I ship them in from Italy. Then I have the boards, which are usually $45 to $50, give or take. And I sell the truckers just like this with the PA12 faceplate. I sell them for $200 all day long. Okay. I have a lot more invested into this than what's into that little mod there. And
you charge the same price,
$15 more.
Yeah. No, I agree. And yes, that Mark Link is in the chat, said a PA12 RDA would look sick on a mod. And yep, Delrin battery cap, maybe Ultim battery cap.
That shit would hit like a truck full of dildos. Anyway, but yeah, so now granted, I underpriced my mods. I drastically underpriced my mods. I have a set point of profit margin that I like to make. Okay, I have a set price. This is what I want. And if I have a heavy repair, I'm going to lose all of that. But I'm okay with that because I generally try to build that I don't have to repair. So I have a set price, and if I get that, I'm generally okay. And it's the same scenario as when I have my store. And people come into my store and they're like, why are your prices so much cheaper than everybody else's? And the reason is prime example what we were talking about when we started the show. Because most of the nights I'm okay with eating mac and cheese and kielbasa. Only once a month do I like to have a steak. I had my New York last week. I cooked it up. So I'm not here to get rich. So my profit margin is generally the same, no matter what mod I'm building. I'm making the same amount of money on it, even if I have to work harder on it, even if I have to rebuild it. If I have to do any of that stuff, it's still the same profit margin across the board.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I totally get that. And I love that. You know, you and I have talked about that before. I love the fact that it's more about the community than making a profit. And that's a beautiful thing where I'm concerned. You know, I see some people who gouge the hell out of you for, you know, a basic box mod, but it happens. There's always going to be those people. And it all depends on your hype train, too. I mean, if you got a good hype train, you can charge whatever the fuck you want.
Take prime example.
And people will pay it. You know, it's so it not only, you know, there's that X factor, you know, like you said, it's you do these parts, you do this thing, you do that. But the X factor is your hype train. And, you know, like nobody's got a hype train better than maybe Billet Box, Nareg. He has a great hype train. BMM, they have good hype trains. You know,
here's the thing.
50 mods and they sell out in seconds, you know they're doing something right.
BMM charges roughly about the same price that I charge for my print mods. Okay, our prices are real close to each other. The difference is that he sells 50 of them and he can buy a modder's pack of boards, which will save him a couple $100 overall.
Yeah.
If not,
I mean, also here, you can throw this into the sideways chat is the Helix that you're building for Mark Linkus. That mod, when that hits, that's not a high profit mod. That's done correctly and it's going to be done nicely.
Right.
You know, so you could even do that because I like the design of that. I really do. And it's not just because, you know, Mark and I are associated and whatnot. I really like the design.
He's your lover. Don't lie. We all know.
No.
Now the Helix will be really nice, and I think it'll be a great addition for Squonk Life. You know, yes, I am the one that you know modeled it, got it up. Not necessarily retail, Nick. I have a wholesale account at Evolve. I am an authorized Evolve manufacturer.
But I don't think you really get a price break unless you're ordering 50 boards at a time.
Yeah, right? I can't afford the 50 packs yet. I don't sell enough to afford 50 packs. So I do have a site that I go to that I generally get. All honesty,
you already heard him talk about profit. He ain't got enough to buy a 6-pack.
Right. It hurts when I buy 10 packs from this place, but I generally pay roughly anywhere between 42 and for a 75C, I pay about 42 to 46 bucks. That's my general price.
So you're getting them from Proto Vapor. They're a good company.
I get a discount code from them because I buy so many off of them, so I do save a little bit more. But they do give me a discount for
there you go
how many I buy. Now when I'm only buying one board off of them, I try not to use the discount code.
Yeah.
That's just being honest.
Nick just said in the chat, he buys in quantity. He might be able to help supply you.
Well, if you can beat my prices, Nick, I'd definitely be interested in that because, like I said, where my market is right now is, and I hate to say it this way because it's going to sound so shitty, but I'm on the BMM coattails.
Yeah.
People that miss the lists but still want something.
Then they come by them for me, which is shitty because my mods are utmost highest quality. Both of you gentlemen own them.
Yep.
Mark owns them. You know, I don't pull any punches, but I can't get out from behind his hype.
And you're not until he does something to really fuck his reputation. And I don't mean that in the bad way, and I'm not wishing ill on him.
And I'm not going to make any comments or any direct assumptions to this, but when I have something, I start doing something, and then I start seeing them doing it. And I'm not saying he's watching me. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not going to be that guy.
I've seen he's done like 2 or 3 models and shared them with us, and like the consensus with like that looks just like this. Thing is, a lot of the modders think a lot. I mean, and when it comes down to it, you're building a body to hold a battery and a chip. They're going to be trying to make it and trying to make it as small as possible. You're going to end up with some similar looking things. Like remember that one, the Dom's the 21700 75C that he came up with.
I told him to release it. He didn't want to because it was too close to this.
And it sucks because he spends all this time making the model, and it's like that looks just like this. But if that's just how a lot of modders come up with these same designs.
Robert, one of the things I said, and I've said it many times, and I've said this all the way back to the live streams with Eric and Steve, is everybody's mods are going to look alike in some ways. The only way you're going to make a mod that doesn't look like anyone else's mod is if you make it intentionally to be uncomfortable to hold.
Yeah.
That's the only way you're going to make a mod that doesn't look like anyone else's. See, for me, to get out from behind the hype, I've come to the conclusion, I'm still going to offer my PA12 mods because that's what got us. It's what the general user can generally afford, okay? Now, everybody that is a member of my group has clearly seen that we have decided to start going in a different direction. We're offering a different variation of the mods now. We just released the first, we waffled off the trucker resin, which all the resin's made in-house. I make all my own blocks. I love how you limit it to one spot so that one person got a kick-ass mod for $20. Yes. We have 4 more on the bench waiting for the faceplates to come in. I didn't make the faceplates. I ordered them out from somebody because we didn't want to. No, not Chris. Chris was not doing the faceplates. It's another buddy of ours that's doing the faceplates because he had already had it all set up for the carbon fiber faceplates. The carbon fibers. Now this carbon fiber one here, I made this faceplate. I made the one on the trucker that just got.
Why that one edge is all janky?
There ain't no janky edges on this shit. Anyway, we released the trucker resin that we just sold. I made the faceplate on that with our fiber laser. But I will state that when I cut them on the fiber laser, there's a lot of cleanup. It's a lot more time. And for the price that I'm getting the faceplates made from this other person, it's just easier and cheaper for me to order them out.
Carbon fiber is not a friendly material to work with.
No, it is not.
Health-wise, too.
I had cut 3 faceplates for those other truckers, and I had cut them, and they all failed. So I ended up pitching all 3 of them. And that's when I contacted them, and I said, hey, I need you to make me 5 faceplates. Here's the measurements. Here's the prints. Get them done as soon as you can.
One piece of advice. I'm going to give you one piece of advice. Nick Pinkerton is in the chat. He's a modder. As a person, what's up, Roy? As a person who buys these mods, I don't get many things sent to me for review for free. Most of the stuff I have to buy, I have to trade for, stuff like that. But one of the things, I'm only going to give you one piece of advice, and that is your side-by-side has something no other side-by-side has. Fucking stop what you're doing and get that out there first before somebody else does it. I'm telling you right now. And
there's only one 21700 side, well, 2 side by side.
That's not the thing that I have that nobody else.
He has one detail on this mod that no one else has, and I'm telling you right now, if you get it out, there's going to be a fucking
one of Dave's carbon fiber panels.
Nice. You need to get it out. So what I'm saying is, if Nick's still in the chat, basically what I'm boiling this down to is, if you're a modder and you have an idea that no one else has. You need to fucking get it out and get it out quick before
What's up, Roy?
Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing, Bill. Okay, so we've been working on the resins at the shop. Now, mind you, I do all my own builds. I do everything on those mods except for the machining on the resin ones. Okay.
Yep.
I do everything else. I do the sanding, the polishing, the buffing, the building, everything myself. Plus, I run a store 7 days a week. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 peacemakers that I'm trying to finish up right now. Okay. One is in order and one is yours. Okay. Once those are out and done, I am open game to sit down and start working again. But then I'm going to have the carbon fiber faceplates in. So I got to finish building out those truckers so we can get them raffled out.
Yep.
Then we're working on resin widowmakers, resin rewinds as well. Those are done, so I can generally just send them out to the machinist and get them machined.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that mod I want to have done. Now, we discussed something the other day that we're going to probably end up going with on that. So when it comes to that, then we can go from there. I have to finish. The only thing that's left on that is just board mounting. That's all I've got to really get down. You know what I mean? Plus, I'm spending all the time in the back room. I'm making blocks for Dominic right now.
Okay.
For his resin stuff. I've just ordered yesterday. I think I ordered 3 caps. And I've got a guy messaging me right now about some big leaf maple that I'm probably going to pick up a cap or 2. So there's so much going on. I honestly could use some help, but it's like everything comes down at one time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like I run around with like chicken with my head cut off. I have honestly too many designs out.
Yep. I think you're pulling a Napoleon. You're spreading yourself out too thin.
Now, the trucker is probably my biggest selling mod I've ever made. It's the biggest selling mod that we've ever had. We sold more truckers than I have any of my other mods.
Okay.
The one that Robert has. Honestly, we sold 4 of them.
What, the
That's a good
dragon?
one.
Huh?
The dragon?
Yes. I only released 4 of those mods. So those are very rare mods too. Sold 4, built 5. So I've already pretty much shelved the dragon.
Okay.
Not enough profit margin, too much work.
Yeah.
The truckers, they're easy. The widowmakers are easy. The rewinds are easy. The peacemakers, they should be easy. But they are a pain in the ass. So, we're going to have 6 to 8 mods on the site, and that's all I'm going to keep. I'm going to teach my daughter's boyfriend. He already knows how to build pumps because he used to do the pumps all the time for me.
Gotcha.
Widowmakers aren't much different, nor are the rewinds. A little different on the rewind, but not much. And we're going to be converting the Widowmaker V2 into a rewind style. So there's a lot of things going on, and I want to get the crown done. Now, nobody here knows what it looks like except for you, Bill. And
Mark, right?
Mark might. And then on top of that, we've got the Helix from Squonk Life. I got to get Mark's mod going too.
Absolutely.
So
I would like to see that done before the crown. As much as I'd like to see that crown done, I know Mark's been waiting on that.
And that's the thing is I really think I need to get an extra hand in there And we're not selling a lot of mods right now. We're selling, 2-3 here, 2-3 there.
Yeah.
But it's that we keep coming out with new stuff. That's why we put away. I backburnered. I can tell everybody in this group. I don't care. I have a bridge or a billet box style Boro mod.
Well, you don't got to worry about Mod Bros competition there because Nick refuses to do a Boro.
I designed an entire Boro mod, and guess what? I shelved it.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Side, the crown is actually the second side-by-side design I had. The first one got shelved.
That's because I didn't help you with it.
Well, it got shelved. That was me and Thomas Ethan Fellendor put that together. But it got shelved because I have to balance the plate. I have to do what I think is going to make us money. And right now, I think that the top ones are going to be. I mean, revamping the Widowmaker will take me no time at all. That's 30, 40 minutes to revamp the Widowmaker.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that moving into the resin style devices is what's going to get me a little bit more notoriety.
I agree.
And that's where been looking at it. That's why I said I didn't want to do a PA12 version of the crown. I think doing a PA12 variation of the crown.
There's that carbon fiber panel.
Did you get that one from Tufts?
Yep.
The person who did those panels are the same people as the person that's doing my panels.
Oh, nice.
Don't repeat that, though. Even though I just said it on a live show.
Well, Bill can take the show down afterwards.
I'm trying to figure out.
Dave does great work. I'm going to tell you that right now.
So this panel is supposed to be for like Billy Club, and
they're all interchangeable.
Yeah, this I have to put it on the stash box here, and it fits. It's not a great fit, or not a perfect fit, but the screen lines up better in this panel than it does on the one that came with it.
Yeah, Dave, like I said, Dave does great work. And honestly, Dave is the only one that does buttons for my mods now. He put up.
Yeah, so he went ahead and along with this panel, he sent me along a set of a stabwood tip and stabwood buttons.
Nice.
Like I didn't pay for them. He sent them to me. So
are we still going on YouTube?
Yep, we're still live.
Nice.
Like I didn't.
Dave, I've known Dave a long time. Now, mind you, Robert, Dave hangs out at my store all the time. He's a personal friend of mine. The CNC machine that he has is my CNC machine.
Yeah, if we want to do our outs, we can go off if you have some things you would rather not.
Yeah, if everybody wants to just hear the chat while we're sitting here talking, if it's
in all reality, I'm not talking about anything bad anyway. But I help Dave with blanks and stuff like that for the button blanks, and I helped him get all set up on his making his own blanks and stuff like that now. You know, Dave's a good guy. He gets under my skin. But like he put up a thank you post to everybody, and everybody was like, oh my, Dave, thank you for thinking of us and tagging us in this. And my reply was, my only thought was this motherfucker better have tagged me.
Oh, he tagged Bill. He tagged Bill as a big time YouTube reviewer.
Yep, I know.
I was like, holy shit.
I'm going to tell you something,
After
Bill.
I took a shot at him in the freaking.
And Bill, it's because I took a shot at him when the first time when he was talking about the reviewers and he was talking about Britain and Todd, and I go, don't forget Bill Cooper's here. Don't forget Bill. Bill is my boy. So he will not forget that you were a damn good reviewer.
You want to see another unicorn, Bill?
I'll take that shit anywhere I can get it.
You want to see another unicorn?
Oh shit! What's he got there? Is that a drone? No.
Nope, it's a Ultim Vape Droid.
The vape droid, that's it. Not the drone, the droid.
Dave had one of those. He couldn't.
I had one, and I got a lot in a trade for it. I forgot I had it, and then I was looking around and seeing there so many people. It was in such demand, and I'm like, well, let's see what I could trade this off for. And then I snagged another one just recently for under RRP.
Nice.
So
Right.
That's
Dave had a hell of a time getting rid. Is that the 26650?
mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dave had a hell of a time getting rid of his.
What? It depends on what color. The clear and the
Ultim.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, usually the Ultim goes fast.
And then he had, what was it, the D2C2?
Yeah. That was the China made one.
I ended up taking a couple of those and I sold them in my store.
They're a good mod. They
Yeah.
they didn't, for some reason, they didn't get the same type of love.
Well, because they were mass manufactured.
Yeah.
So I got a question for being we hit a dead spot there. I got a question for Bert as a reviewer. So I'm talking to a very well-known Italian modder, and he messaged me. He said, "Hey, I sought you out. I know you do reviews. I know you've got a couple side-by-sides," because he saw the review on the history mods and stuff. Said, "I want you to review one of my mods." And I was like, "Okay, no problem. Cool. Let's do this." And then he said, "All right, well, we just have prototypes out." So I said, "Okay." So I messaged him and I was like, "Oh," he told me, he goes, "I'm going to send you one out in the first batch." So I said, "Awesome. Looking forward to it." I saw a couple pictures of his mods in the group and I was like, "Oh, are we still doing the review?" I saw some of the mods posted in the review. He goes, No. It's just 2 prototypes, mine and my admins." And I said, "Okay, no problem." So he said, "The review is still on." His exact words were, "This is an agreement. The review is still on. I want it done." So I said, "Okay, no problem." Now I'm noticing multiple mods from multiple different people who are not admins, moderators, or anything saying, "Thank you. This is great mod at a great price." And he's ghosted me for the last month. Now
I wouldn't worry about it. If he sends you something good,
I was like, do I be a dick about it, or I just walk away from him?
So I've only been sent things twice for the purpose of a review, and they were clone products, and I stated that completely, was totally transparent on it, and I think they did share my reviews. They were more lengthy than they like, and I think I was a little more critical than they prefer, because of course they just want to sell things. But aside from those 2 China clone products that I got sent for a purpose of review, everything else I've got has been purchased at cost, or I've traded for, or something.
Yeah. Well, my problem is I'm looking at it this way. You sought me out, offered me this review, told me, yes, this is an agreement, the review will be done, and then all of a sudden you ghost me for a month. That kind of pissed me off.
Yeah, just a second. I got kid.
No worries.
Sorry, I'm just looking at some burl caps that were sent to me. Big leaf maples. Ooh.
Oh. Now I get the joke.
Yeah, I didn't get it before either, but now I do. Now I get it. Hey, Chris.
Sorry, I'm messaging back and forth. I one of my sponsors. Oh,
You're okay, Bill. Hey, Chris, we're probably going to do another Zoom room sometime this week. So if you want to come in, hop in and chit chat with us. It'll be posted up in the group. I don't know what night, but we'll do something. And I'm sure it'll go a lot better than the last meeting.
Yeah, Bill, it looks like he just decided to go a different route. So, I mean, as long as it's not involving any like money out of your pocket, then I just drop it.
Yeah, I send stuff to Bill with the purpose of a review.
Yeah, no sense in getting upset about it. Like I know Steve had a big thing with RJ because he was supposed to be getting stuff for review and then ended up paying for it and then having it like there was this whole big thing. So as nice as it is to get stuff for free for review, if someone like if communication just drops, I just leave it at that. There's no point in getting thirsty about it.
See, yeah, and when it comes to mods for the purpose of a review, Bill will tell you normally I try to work with the reviewer. I can't afford to give things away for free at this time and date and time. Maybe if I was selling 50 mods a drop, that's a different story. But I'm not. So, but I always try to work with the reviewers, and usually I give them my admin price.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing my admins would pay if they wanted one. So, and to me, that's the easiest and fairest way. It's really minimal anything, and it mainly covers my shipping cost. And
well, and if you're wanting someone to review a product for hopes of using it for marketing purposes, and all that person is asking for is like, yeah, just send it my way. If your only cost of someone doing a review is the product itself, it's a pretty damn good deal.
Right, when I can afford it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'll give you a good laugh.
I'm talking about like mass manufactured stuff. Like you imagine like how much Smucks sells, and they send Bill something for free for review, and they're out just what the cost of that device was. And
all
it takes is one person seeing Bill's review and buying it for them to more than have returned their investment.
Prime example, I've got a customer that contacted me about a week ago and says, I saw your Widowmaker review on Cooper Vaping View. I want this mod. So we're going to probably be doing a drop next week. But I want to get the 2 Peacemakers done before we do another drop.
So, all right, I got to call out Mark because I'm sitting there like this texting. So I had a modder from not a high-end company, from a mass production place. Messages me. It goes, listen, we're sending you out this and this for a review. There's a company is now making a de-germ kit for atomizers and stuff. I guess they're making a portable sanitizer for your atomizers and stuff. But he's like, hey, wait a second. I sent you this for review. And I didn't see you post the review. Did you review it yet? So I scrolled back in the chat to a week and a half ago. And I was like, I took a screenshot. I'm like, I sent you the link. You actually responded and said it was a good review and you liked the way it was done. It's like, oh, crap. Sorry. Well, let's send you out some extra stuff. Oh.
And Bill, the main thing is I'm really trying to get your Peacemaker done so I can send it at the same time with the Rewind. Granted, you're going to do 2 different reviews on them, but the Peacemaker don't need a review anytime soon.
And then he has the nerve to say, "Can you post the review in the groups?" I'm like, "I did." I'm like, what the fuck? I'm gonna send you screenshots of all the fucking posts I make too. Oh my god. I sometimes, you know, and I don't mean this. It's not a prejudice thing, but sometimes dealing with bigger companies is a real fucking pain in the nuts. Because number one, obviously English is not their primary language, and you know they're like dense. Sometimes it's like, did you do the review? Yeah, I sent you the link a week ago. You responded to it, told me it was a good review. Okay, can you post it in your groups? I did post it in the groups, and you're a member of 2 of the groups that I fucking posted it in. Oh my god, these people.
What mod?
The Nautilus GT tank. Aspire.
Yeah. I actually want to carry those in the store, I think.
I actually like that tank. Now I wound up. I think I
as long as you got the Aspire the Aspire mesh coils.
I did the 0.70 mesh coils. Love
those. Yep.
I bought one online because they said, "Oh, we're sending it to you," and it was through that fucking Track 17, which sucks. And it was 2 weeks in the mail. I ordered one from oh god, who was it? Some offhand vape place. I got it shipped to me in 2 days for $45. So I just bought my own. I reviewed it. And then like the next day, the one shows up and they sent me the Nautilus GT with the Glint mod. So so what I did was, as a favor and being nice, I took the Glint mod and the matching Nautilus GT. I had bought some extra coils for it. So I threw an extra coil in the package, packaged it back up, threw it in mail, and I sent it off to Mark Linkus so he could have an extra mod to play with, which I still don't even know if he even received it yet. I haven't heard about it, so I guess he's not using it.
Oh, I got Evil Twin instead. And that's the stock coil Evil tank, right? It's the Evil Reaper that takes the Nautilus coils.
Oh, yeah. I saw that. I was like, ooh, that looks interesting, because I wanted to get an Evil Reaper for the longest time, but everybody wanted like ridiculous amounts for it. And it's actually easier for me to get a hold of the fucking Scylla from Vicious Ant, because nobody else wanted it for some reason. And that was actually a really good RTA. That was a really good RTA.
It's because...
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. We won't go into it.
It's all about
phasers.
The horse is dead. It's been dead.
Yeah, I wanted an Evil Reaper, but I wound up, instead of getting the Evil Reaper, I wound up getting the I don't want Mike mad at me, so it was the Tay-Fun GT4. And I love that thing. That's right here in front of me at all times. I love this Addy. RTA, Addy, whatever you want to call it. I love this thing because this is a true direct lung RTA.
Yeah, I don't believe it was ever meant to be pronounced Typhoon. It came out right after the K-Fun did.
Right.
And it had a similar build deck and whatnot.
It was essentially a clone of the K-Fun.
Yeah.
So they called it the Tay-Fun at the time. And then it got dubbed over to Tay-Fun or Typhoon, which it's like, oh dude, it's a Tay-Fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with your logic on the naming there.
Hey, but you know what? Fuck it, just give me a Russian and we'll call it a day. I got something to show Mark on the camera real quick.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Hey, don't be showing me your weed.
Oh, you're whipping out your doodads?
No, these are actually buttons that were made from a gentleman named Jack McCormick, who was doing some work for me, and he screwed up somebody's dragon faceplate, and then told me he shipped a replacement, and it just said label was made, never shipped, and I never received it even till to this day, and I pretty much cut ties with that contract and went somewhere else.
Gotcha.
I think you know which faceplate I'm referring to there, Robert.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I still don't have faceplate.
I
know.
don't have my mold yet either. So
I still haven't painted a clearer picture on what Spartan or what I want my Spartan to be, and he's just was gonna. I think the idea was to just send them off together.
Yeah, Mark has a mod that he needs a custom 5mm button, and these buttons that McCormick did for us seem to be good for what he needs. I have to put it on the lathe and machine the step down a little bit, so that way it's a little bit thinner backing piece, but more of the button coming through for his mod. So it's going to be a little bit of a tricky one because they're freaking tiny, getting them chucked up in the lathe, but I think we'll get it.
Well, that's one way, or you could just, it's a little hokey, but you could just glue a larger, flatter piece of material to the back of the button since it's not going to be seen anyway.
Yeah, but I'm trying to take all that down.
Yeah.
Because I have to make the backing piece much thinner.
Oh, okay.
So what I'm thinking is I'm going to try to use my small chuck and see if I can come in and get on the front of the button to hold it. And then I'm just going to take my edger and come in and just level it off just a little bit, couple passes, and hopefully thin it out. But I've got 6 attempts here. In case I snap or explode some buttons.
Yeah. Now, with that type of fine work, do you typically is like preferable to use a higher RPM with the smaller items, or is it all just depend on how much material you're removing?
Generally, if you're cutting, you want higher RPMs. You want to cut at a much higher RPM. 3,000 or better when you're trying to cut any kind of resins or woods. Generally, the slower stuff is if you're drilling or you're sanding. My last lathe didn't have variable speeds on it, and I never took it off at 3,400 even when I was sanding. Now that I have variable speed lathe, I turn it down when I'm doing like a CA finish or
yeah, I'm not gonna get that with the back sticker.
Yeah, trying to make things look pretty and buffed up and fancy.
So Evan Sanders said he needs some doodads.
Talk to Dave. David's the one that's got him down.
He's the diddler or the doodler.
He's the doodad.
Dave goes, like I said, Dave's got some really nice blanks that I sent him. Actually, during this whole Corona, he's been pretty much locking himself up in his house and refuses to leave. So even when I had to go pick up my buttons, he had them dangling out of his mailbox. And I just back the blank to me in his fucking mailbox. And as I'm driving away, I'm like, Dave, go get the shit out of your mailbox, bro.
Really? Couldn't fucking just come out here and hand them to me?
He doesn't want it. He has a weakened immune system.
Oh, okay.
The local hardware store just closed because one of the employers or one of the owners, I think, has it. But my town's been kind of stupid. Not a lot of people are, which is odd because I don't know. My town hasn't been the brightest on. You would never know that there's any sort of order going on for people to stay in their homes.
Look at Los Angeles County.
Yeah. Well, Dave, the thing about Dave is he's a diabetic.
Oh, okay.
So he's really paranoid of catching it.
Yeah, because that'll fuck you up.
Let's put it this way: when I went and picked up the buttons out of his mailbox, he put an alcohol. He said he washed everything down with alcohol, and then put an alcohol swab inside the bag of buttons in case I felt like I needed to wash them again.
Yeah, but that if he's got a weakened immune system, why is he doing that for you?
I don't
Who
fucking
gives
know.
a shit about you?
I
I'm
didn't
surprised
care.
they didn't leave some alcohol swabs and tell you to clean your shit before you left it in the mailbox.
I did. I did.
No, I got you.
But that's just Dave. Dave is Dave. He is the most meticulous person. Okay, well, the second most meticulous person I know. He's only second to you, Robert. So when I first met Dave, he came into my store. He was going to pick up a Boolin box, and I had a bunch of them that we were selling. Now we ended up selling them all, but I got a couple of them back that were slightly used. He sat there in my store for 4 hours going over these two boxes, trying to decide which one he wanted to buy.
And they're probably priced at a point where just like, fuck it, get both of them.
Essentially, yes, they were at the time. But he literally sat there and he's looking at it and he goes, "Oh, there's just a little teeny tiny scratch in that corner there." And I'm like, "Dude, are you going to fucking buy them or what?" It's a used fucking mod. There's going to be flaws. And ever since then, he comes back, and I help him out with a lot of stuff. We were talking. You guys have had my faceplates off your mods, right?
Yes. Yeah.
You see how I put the tape on the back of the 3 buttons on the bottom, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I do that for a main reason is if you drop your mod, your faceplate falls off, your buttons, you don't get lost. Me and Dave were talking last week and a half ago, and he had made a comment, well, why don't you get something a little bit nicer cut for those button connections? Not a bad idea, Dave. I think I will. Now, he takes credit for how they were designed, and that's how I would have designed them anyways. So I went ahead and I talked to the print shop that's next door that we do a lot together, and we got the button savers designed. I designed up the button savers and got them all designed. Cool little product, helps hold your buttons together. We did them in carbon fiber. And I told Dave, I says, Dave, you can, if you want to sell these, give them away with your buttons, whatever, go ahead. But I'm going to use them on my mods. And I guess I think he calls them doodad button savers.
Yeah.
Which the button savers was my idea. That was my name. And it was based off of what I was already doing. But so Dave's supposed to come out and pick up some of those button savers so he can start giving them out with his buttons or selling them or whatever he's going to do with them. Those little things are cool. We, like I said, we did it on a carbon fiber. And basically you just push your 3 buttons down and then you just line the circles up and then push down and it helps hold them all together.
Nice.
It's a nice little, I mean, it's not something that's a necessity to have. Well, in some mods, you need that extra thickness for the traveling. But it's nice because, I mean, how many times have one of us dropped our mods and our fucking 3 little buttons gone flying everywhere?
Yeah.
I had a buddy that had a trucker and he dropped it getting out of his truck. And the first thing he looked at was his faceplate and saw no buttons in it. And he thought, fuck, I'm screwed. And then he looked down and saw that they were all attached together. So it's a nice little feature and it works.
Yeah. Better than freaking what? What is the company? Rebel and
Boxer.
How they do their buttons are.
They're part of the body.
Yeah. So when they break, you're just
fucked. Yeah, I would never put a stress piece printed part of the body. If it's something you're going to be pushing on, why would you make it part of the body?
Yeah.
You're going to work that button until it snaps.
I think it's so that they didn't have to do a faceplate.
Okay, so you go and you order some ATI stainless steel buttons, and you mount the board from the backside like you are anyways, and just have holes for the buttons to drop in.
Yep.
I mean, sorry to be the bearer of common sense. Yeah, Chris, that's what we were talking about. We said
that's Rebel Vapor, and then
hey, Mike, you want a good laugh? I don't mean to interrupt or change the subject. Bert, you'll probably find this interesting. So that company asked me if they were like, oh, well, I saw your discussion on one of the live streams that you have an RDA design. So they're asking for cooperation with reviewers. And it's a company that has no cooperation with any reviewers so far.
What company is it?
Aspire.
I think they would do it justice too.
Oh, well, look at, I mean, anybody that's reviewed the what's the one they did with Tayfun?
The
Nautilus GT, the one I just reviewed.
Yeah, anybody that's had their hands on that said like the quality of it is it's indiscernible
it felt high end. It was actually, that was what I said in the review too. It feels high end. It's heavy.
Yeah, I think Jay on Jay's review of that, he said the same thing. Like, if you hadn't told me this was made in China, I wouldn't have thought it was.
So is that something that you're willing to do, Bill?
Aspire has they can put their money where their mouth is.
I'm going to be honest with you guys, and this is just the
NDAs, Bill. NDAs. Cover your ass. Don't share anything without
non-disclosure agreements.
Yeah.
Right. Here's the thing, guys, and here's something that not a lot of people know about me. I may not rock anything Aspire right now, but I am one of the biggest Aspire fanboys since the Atlantis 1.
Yep, that was what got me to off cigarettes. Or not the Atlantis, Nautilus, the original.
Nautilus. I had the
original Nautilus. When it had that steel wicker cage you could put over it.
Yep.
And dude, Aspire.
The Nautilus Mini.
No, the original Cleto.
I hate. Okay.
Cleto, a beast.
I didn't like the Cleto. I didn't like the Cleto. Now I owned the Nautilus Mini, the stick mods. I had the big ass Nightstick CF Sub 50 or 50 watt.
Mm-hmm.
And to this day, if I can get my hands on them, to this day, my number one selling tank that I sell is the Atlantis Evo. Because I love Atlantis coils. Now, granted, a little something I've been begging Aspire to do for a long time, and they've yet to do it. Tobacco used to have a coil called the Notch coil.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it fit in the Atlantis Evo. It was an Atlantis style coil. It was for the super tank. And by far,
we talked about this the last time, the Notch coil, because I thought you were talking about that
the Wismec one.
The Wismec Notch coil.
Yep, nope. This was in the Atlantis coil structure.
Yeah, the Notch coils really never caught on.
The funny thing is, I have 2 of them in my build bench right now.
Okay, Robert.
Wismec Notch coils.
For the ones that were in the Atlantis Evos, I contacted Tobacco directly when I couldn't find them anymore because the flavor, dude, I would get 3 months out of a coil. Yeah. I contacted Tobacco directly and I said, I need the Notch coils. Oh, we sorry, sir. We stopped making them 6 months ago. Why the fuck would you do something stupid like that?
Yeah, it's kind of like
Aspire. That's kind of one of their staple things is when they make a product, they like continue to keep coil heads manufactured.
Well, this is Tobacco.
They don't just pump out product.
But Tobacco wasn't a big company, but for Tobacco to get rid of their notch coil, which was their number one seller, is kind of like Aspire going, guess what? We're not going to make PVC coils anymore. You can't do that.
The sad thing about tobacco is the death of tobacco was when they started doing authentic products.
I'm going to tell you something. So we went back to Atlantis Evo coils. They were good, but they were no notch coil. Tobacco has recently released an Atlantis-based mesh. And it's way better than the one that came out from Medusa, because the ones from Medusa were garbage. Tobacco released a mesh coil that hits almost as good as the Evo coils and lasts just as long.
Nice.
So give me an Atlantis, and that's why I keep saying, give me a pod system that takes an Atlantis coil. Give me a new tank that takes in an Atlantis coil, because those have been I have sold more Atlantis coils and tanks in my store than anything I've ever sold in my store. Those have been a major staple. The problem with the Atlantis coils is they don't pump enough wattage. They don't pump enough clouds for people. So, and they don't burn enough juice. Stores won't pick them up because they're not cloud chuckers and juice wasters.
Well, the trick for those coils, oddly enough, came right from rip trippers. The one, because they all had problems with wicking because they were wicked so tightly. It's just poking the juice ports or the cotton with some. Yeah,
that was with the original Atlantis coils. But the Atlantis Evo coils are really good. And like I said, I have probably 4 or 5 boxes of the Tobacco meshes sitting on my shelf for the super tanks. I'm surprised Tobacco's still making coils for the super tanks.
The super tank is still super popular, and it's got the RTA section for it was pretty decent too.
I haven't seen them in half my wholesalers in years. They've been gone for so long. But as soon as I saw that they were still selling the mesh coils, I was all over it like stink on shit.
Oh yeah, Evan, those I know the notch coils that were with the Theorem that Suck My Mod collab. I think you're talking about different type of notch. He's
talking about the Wismic BS ones.
Yeah,
those things were garbage.
Yep, they were that cylinder with the punched out holes and then the non-resistance leads that were like soldered on or welded.
Yeah, that broke off all the fucking time. Yeah. Yep. No, we tried them. We tried them when we were when we got the theorems in, and we were trying them, and it just wasn't the same either. I wanted them to be good. They just sucked.
Yeah. Well, I have got to head out here and get some.
I apologize.
I'm
sitting here going crazy because they just said, can you download WeChat? We need to talk with an engineer. I was like,
well, then get to it.
Holy shit.
get to it.
I'm going to have to talk to you, Mike, because you have all those CAD files.
Yeah, so
after we turn off the live.
Go ahead and do your sign offs, take it live, and I'll try to. I want to get in on this, but I'll have to return later.
Don't worry, Bert. I will make. Wait, no, the Theorem. Yes, that was the Theorem that had those notch coils that I got. But
yeah, I'll catch you guys a little bit later then. Hopefully.
You will be one of the first to review it. Because if it gets made, you'll be one of the first. I have.
Oh, thank you.
I have a place that I want at least 10 for myself, for friends and family. That's it. Yes, you'll get one. Bert gets one. Tony gets one. My son gets one.
Dominic gets one.
Dominic, of course. But yeah. So heading up the ladder, guys.
Mark don't get one. Fuck Mark.
Get you guys later.
And I will probably right away before it's released give one away on my channel or in Squonk Life. I haven't decided which. Mark is definitely getting one though.
Oh fuck Mark! You don't need one.
Rubber dick. We've been going for almost 2 hours already.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
It was a good show.
Yes, good show. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody, for being in the chat. You know where to find me. Hit the like and subscribe while you're on my channel.
Then come look for me.
Come look for Mike. Mike in the Facebook groups, EVC Mods and E-Liquid. Oh, I'm sorry. Tell them where you're at, Mike. I'm being a douchebag.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't know how to talk, Bill. It's all right, PVC Mods and E-Liquids. We're doing a drop next week. Plus, we've got 4 more trucker resins that are going to be getting released. And we're probably going to waffle them all off. And then we've got a newer body style that we're working on as well. And we're going to be getting some nice new stuff out there and start getting some mods flowing around. So, yeah, come check us out. We also do once a week, we do a live 100-man Zoom room where we let everybody come on and talk out loud and shoot the shit and run a bunch of BS. So,
see how we can talk more shit about each other.
That's right. Bill's usually there. Bill, Mark, Dom sometimes. Chris Sonker comes in. We have a good time. Just shoot the shit and break up the monotony of this quarantine crap.
Yes. All right, guys. So I'm going to sign this off. Y'all have a good week. We'll see you next Tuesday. Hopefully next Tuesday I have even really, really, really better news for you guys. So let's do it. We'll see you next week. All right.
Peace.
And